Victims of sleep paralysis. What was your run-in with the sleep paralysis demon like? I get this on a regular basis, but mostly when I nap, not when I go to sleep for the night. I have never experienced the demon, but the experience is terrifying. I can see everything, or at least it seems like I can, but I am unable to move. It feels like if I don't make every effort to move, I will be stuck like that forever. I usually have to start by wiggling a toe or a finger and then keep that momentum going until I fully wake. It takes an extreme amount of effort, and if I don't keep the effort constant, I have to start all over again. Yeah, that's the same for me too. The feeling is usually accompanied by a fear of closing my eyes or falling back asleep. I've only experienced it 3 times, but my first time was the worst. I've never had any visual encounters, but when it happened the first time, I was laying on my left side and started to feel that pressure on my chest. When I realized I was paralyzed and started panicking, something whispered in my ear, just coming in to say goodnight. That's when I felt like something was pushing me towards the edge of my bed. Terrifying crap. Same here. No visual encounters. I don't panic anymore as I'm used to it. It's just a bit annoying and unnerving. I had the auditory thing once. Freaked the heck out of me. It's a good thing I understand the causes of sleep paralysis, or else I'd be a mess. I've had 3 sleep paralysis events in my life. 1. I saw a cat-sized shadow creature at the base of my bed, and it slowly crawled up onto my sheets and finally up to my chest. I felt uncomfortable. 2. Another time I saw a shadow man walking around my room, disappearing behind my open door. This was the scariest one I've had so far. 3. This one was the best. I saw a couple of surreal looking penguins walking around my bedroom. It was amusing and funny. I like the penguins one. Describe it more in detail if you please, to take the edge off this dang thread. It's just a feeling that something is there but not visible. I am paralyzed and get the sense that something is just out of sight. Maybe not the best description, but it is a really awful thing to experience. I actually have it fairly often. So much now that I realize when it's occurring. These days I just close my eyes and won't open them no matter what I feel or hear. Doing this though doesn't force me to wake up, and I still have to wait for it to end. I still feel and hear everything. Sometimes I feel like I'm being dragged somewhere, or just constantly feel like something is touching me, along with muffled voices. Before I learn to cope with it, I've seen quite a few awful things. Horror films don't really do anything for me anymore because I've already seen the most terrifying things I already could. Here's a few things I remember off the top of my head. A little girl in the corner of my room staring at me. Then, without notice, she shrieks and runs up and starts choking me. A large dark figure, kind of a human silhouette, emerging from the foot of my bed and staring down at me. Something banging and scraping on my bedroom door. I keep it locked at night because I have had ones where it opens by itself. No, the door isn't open when I wake up. It only opens in the dream. My bedroom door opening by itself, followed by dark figures coming into my room. The earliest one I can remember is with my mother in the room, and she's sitting on my bed. Her face morphs into a demon-like thing. Many others. The worst thing is when you try to fight or call for help. Your voice doesn't work and your body will not respond. You just feel helpless. Ugh. I need to stop trying to remember these things. I'm getting chills. I feel like reading this thread is giving my subconscious more ideas for sleep paralysis episodes. I am not going to sleep well tonight. I've had cycles of sleep paralysis for as long as I can remember and regularly see 2 different demons. The hallucinations are visual, auditory, and you can physically feel them at times. They have become more vivid as I've gotten older. One is a tall dark hooded figure that always stood at the bottom of my bed. My scariest experience with him was when I woke up one night with sleep paralysis and the big spooky hooded bastard was standing right next to me. His hood was covering his face, but I knew he was watching me and I knew he was evil. The second one I see is a smallish gremlin type creature that's got pointy features and is a browny green color. Very similar to the one in the painting, but I had seen him before I had seen the painting or even knew what sleep paralysis was. He normally appears when I'm on my back and restricts my breathing and speaks in a weird whispery language. I woke up once and he was crouching in the corner of the ceiling. When I looked at him, he turned his head and looked right at me and smiled. I woke up on my side once and I could hear him behind me, speaking in his freaky language, and then I felt his snake-like tongue going in my ear and making a slithery noise. I can't tell how glad I am when I found out that there was a scientific explanation for it and that I wasn't actually being haunted. I can't explain how so many people with sleep paralysis see similar demons and how we all just know that the things we are seeing are evil, but it's something I choose not to think about too much for the sake of ever being able to sleep again. This was my experience too. I knew the figures were evil, even if they didn't say or do anything. That feeling when you realize it's sleep paralysis and not demons. Yeah, complete relief. People don't get how real these things seem. Sleep paralysis is, without a doubt, the scariest crap I have ever experienced and will likely ever experience. That feeling when you're convinced there's something standing over you while you're trying with every fiber of your being to move any muscle is truly terrifying. I remember waking up wailing incoherently the first time I experienced it. I have a few different sleep paralysis demons and one sort of sleep paralysis guardian angel. The demon ones are the usual shadowy figure standing over me or by my bedroom door. The worst one was while I was lying on my side with my back to the door and it felt like someone got into bed behind me, under the covers, and put their arm round my waist. Then it felt like they were cuddling into me and I could feel breath on my neck. It felt like they cuddled me for about half an hour. All this time I'm trying not to show that I'm panicking because it feels like I'm getting cuddled by a skeleton with claws. It was only about the second, maybe third time I'd had sleep paralysis, so I nearly had a heart attack when this thing feels like it's moving in closer to kiss me behind the ear. Worst of all, it whispered, "Not yet. You're not ready yet. I'll come back when you are." To me it sounded disappointed and excited. It felt like it was silently telling me it meant that it was coming back when I was about to die. Scared the freaking crap out of me. My sleep paralysis guardian angel was a weird experience. I'd been getting sleep paralysis on and off for about 18 months by this point, so I could usually tell straight away when it was happening. At first I thought it was the usual demon things beside my bed, but when I looked properly I realized I could clearly see a man kneeling next to my bed smiling at me. It wasn't a creepy smile, more like a parent coming in to check on their kid. He looked like he was dressed in a 50s style suit and hat. He didn't say anything, although I got the sense he was letting me know everything was alright and he'd look after me. The strangest thing about my sleep paralysis guardian angel was that I felt like I knew him. Almost like when you see a relative you were around a lot while you were really young and then didn't see for years. If that makes sense. I only ever hear about people seeing the demon things. I've always wondered if anyone else has seen any guardian angels type things as well. My girlfriend has this and it happens once every few months. She says she sees shadows walking around or crawling on the wall toward her, but she can't move or scream. But she knows I'm there and can even tell me what I was doing while she was laying there paralyzed. She can sometimes tell me what I was looking at or that I was petting the cat. It's creepy and scary, but there's no way of me knowing it's happening till after it's over. I have been having bouts of sleep paralysis since I was 16. It usually goes like this. I wake up from a light sleep. Sometimes my eyes are open and sometimes not. I am aware of my surroundings and I can hear whatever is happening, but I cannot move. By pure force of will I am able to slightly move my head. If I begin to think about my breath I usually start to panic because it is very hard to control. On a rare occasion I will hallucinate while paralyzed. This usually involves a feeling or sound. I once heard the front door open and a cat meow. I then felt the cat jump onto the bed and rub its fur on my arm. I had no cat. The act of breaking the sleep paralysis feels like a battle of willpower. It is like trying to break free of a force that is holding you still. Each attempt is exhausting. It will usually take 4 or 5 tries and after each try I feel myself sink a bit back into myself. It's like backing up to get a run at trying to break through a door. I push and push until I can't anymore. Eventually I push through and wake up all the way. Sometimes after I wake up I have a cloudy mind for hours afterwards. On a real bad night I may have half a dozen or more bouts of sleep paralysis. I have developed techniques for dealing with it. Sleeping on my side is the best deterrent. If I can keep from getting panics about breathing then I am sometimes able to ignore it altogether and just fall back to sleep. This has been a great source of some awesome lucid dreaming. I have been dealing with it for 22 years now. You may find it comforting to know that not once have I been permanently paralyzed. Obviously, I've always been able to get up and suffered little more than just being scared. I have, on more than one occasion, been paralyzed while watching the clock. I was able to see the passing minutes while I laid there. Because of this I am convinced it is a real thing and not me just dreaming I am paralyzed. I also one time fell asleep in a room full of people and they witnessed my paralysis. They said my eyes were open and I was shaking my head slightly, but they didn't realize anything was going on. I was trying to get their attention to see if they touched me if it would help. You know how sometimes when you're leaving a room and you turn the light off, you suddenly feel like you're being chased and you need to run the fig off? It's that feeling all over again, son. The running bit drenches you in cold sweat and sometimes a little urine too. I always go to the bathroom before bed though, since I'm a natural lucid dreamer and do sometimes get stuck in a sleep paralysis. It has only happened once to me and it scared the crap out of me. I was taking a quick nap while my 2-year-old was napping. I woke up to hearing someone open my front door and walk in. Their steps came to my door and I saw it open out of the corner of my eye. The whole time I could not move or blink. It stood there for a bit and then closed the door and went to my son's room. That's when I really panicked and it was done. I could get up and my heart was racing. Threw me for a freaking loop. I used to have sleep paralysis up to 10 times a night. Most nights at one point, I would wake up with that familiar feeling of buzzing or vibrating in my head. I would see flashed of light. That sense of dread and pending doom scared the crap out of me. I would even hear what sounded like English being said backwards. And obviously, paralysis. I have sleep paralysis and related parasomnias fairly regularly. Sometimes they're simple. A recent one that comes to mind involved feeling something moving just behind my back, which was very unsettling. My most coherent sleep paralysis memory concerning an evil presence involved me first listening in on what seemed to be someone else's thoughts, only to have them sense my presence and start choking me telepathically. Unfortunately, I don't have anything visually spectacular to recant. Usually I'll hear evil voices or laughter and feel things touching me. It doesn't frighten me much these days, but it will cause me to wake up out of sheer annoyance. Never realized this is what I had experienced until I started looking around here. Worst experience I had was with a devil-like creature, red and black with huge teeth that sat on me. It felt like it was suffocating me. It just kept pushing on my chest and I was terrified. I couldn't move or scream. What made it really bad was after I got up, my husband woke up startled and told me something had been pressing on his chest trying to kill him. I used to have them as a teen and it would scare me so much, but I started getting really mad and annoyed and just thought, you know what, frick it. After that, the next time it happened I mustered all of willpower to shakily raise hand and give middle finger to darkness. Instantly went away and never had another. I want to call bulls, but I enjoyed that so much that I can't help but supply an upvote. I have only experienced this a few times, however the worst by far was for what seemed like hours. This thick freaking column of fire that spanned from my floor to my ceiling just at the side of my bed, watching me, came round eventually and felt like I was suffocating. You have been visited by the Good Sleep Pizza. You will be blessed with cozy sleeps, but only if you upvote before going to sleep. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video, or don't. Either way, have a great day, you magnificent people.